S. Roberts. He was born in Kentucky in 1806 to James and Everett Roberts and Sally Letta Ripley Roberts. He passed away August the 22nd, 1893 in Cameron, Missouri at the age of 87. Elizabeth Kincaid Roberts was born October the 4th, 1805 to George Kincaid and Sarah Wilson Kincaid in Harrison County, Kentucky. She died January 29th, 1881 of pneumonia, and so also their eldest daughter, Sarah. Littleton and Elizabeth was married June 2nd, 1885 in Madison, Kentucky. And together they had 11 children, 10 girls, 1 boy, between the 1826 and 1846. For 20 years, Elizabeth was bearing children. It was not, is of this note, that their daughter Harriet was reportedly the first white child born in the newly formed DeKalb County. When they celebrated their 55th anniversary, only 5 of their children were still alive. But they had 28 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren. The family began their move to Missouri from Kentucky in 1829, and their second daughter, Sarah, was born on that journey in Indiana. Their family was active as Primitive Baptist Association in Missouri. Their family was known to be kind and generous, often helping many people. Littleton and Elizabeth believed in law and order and service to others. They were lifelong farmers, but Littleton was elected to serve as the first sheriff and collector of Clinton County, Missouri, from 1839 to 1842. He also served as Missouri State Representative from 1858 to 1862. They lived many years on their farm on Highway 33 between Osborne and Maysville. County records show them owning property in townships of Colfax and different parcels in Adams and Grand River. Now, as you all know, that Missouri was a slave state, but for some reason, this little corner of Missouri they had a lot of abolitionists. And on the 13th of June, 1863, the citizens of Maysville, led by Littleton Roberts as the chair of the newly formed committee, and joined on this committee were Captain Holland, E.J. Bronson, Captain T. Smith, Judge T. Kitsumcom, George Sherman, Z. Provost, Captain George Brown, Manford Lancaster, and Jackson Hawkins. They appointed Roberts, Littleton's son, secretary to set about drafting resolutions expressing of the citizens of DeKalb County. George Wyatt, Sam Riggs, and Sylvester Crank all spoke. All these gentlemen spoke against slavery. So here's the resolutions they came up with. There was 5 of them. Number 1, we, the people of DeKalb County, in mass meeting assembled, are in favor of immediate emancipation of all slavery in the state of Missouri. Number 2, that we are in favor of the most vigorous prosecution of the war until every rebel copperhead is willing to submit to the authority of the United States or be exterminated from the country. That we have explicit confidence in the President of the United States, believing him to be heaven's choice to conduct the affairs of this nation through this rebellion, and he should be supported and upheld every honest person, male, female, in this nation. Number 4, that is, the question of emancipation shall come before the legislature as its adjourned session in November endeavors to pass a law prohibiting all disloyal persons from voting at every election in his state. And he is further instructed to pass a law prohibiting every disloyal person, male, female, from holding office or teaching school, either public or by subscription, in this state. And number 5, we view the Copperheads as the meanest enemy we have to contend with in this rebellion, a disgrace to themselves and to the rest of mankind. Now, in the later years, their daughter Nancy married George Smith, and they had 1 son, Robert Burns Smith. In a letter, Elizabeth wrote that they practically raised their grandson Robert, who later married Elizabeth Jane Hyder. They had a daughter, Marietta Smith. In 1880, Robert headed to Texas with plans to buy several thousand acres when it became available. The plan was for Elizabeth and Etta to join him. Littleton and Elizabeth wrote many letters to R.B. Smith asking that she and Etta come and visit. Robert's dream was not fulfilled. In 1882, the quarantine doctor of the St. Louis and San Francisco Railroad Company sent a letter stating he had died of smallpox and gave the location of his grave. A few years later, on Tuesday, November the 17th, 1885, Littleton married for the second time to a widow, Miss Harriet Elizabeth Howard, in Plattsburgh, Missouri. She was 30 and he was 80, according to their marriage license. He lived to be 87 and is buried next to Elizabeth here in the cemetery, along with 2 other children. That's it.